Alrighty, ladies and gents, welcome. We are live. Welcome, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another edition of the London Session. It's time to get this show on the road. So, as always, guys, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, no matter where we are around the world. Obviously, looking forward to seeing what we can come up with moving forward here today on the gold. The gold doing its thing, obviously been in a bit of a pullback phase of late. Seems to have found some pretty solid support in that 3900 level. Pretty strong level on the daily time frame, which we will go into in more depth shortly when we do the analysis. But it's also a level that myself and my members were looking at. It is what, again, it's tapped into what we call the IC candle and has bounced off that. So learnt that firsthand on this particular stream. I know one of the members definitely got involved, and he's looking really good. I personally didn't, because I was a little bit after the fact when I noticed it happening, but otherwise we will obviously take a look at the gold moving forward. We'll take a look at GJ and any other pair as per request. You guys know the deal. If you could, please don't forget to do so. Make sure to hit that like button, and also that's for YouTube. TikTok, if you could hit that little screen for me. Let's get the masses onto the stream. And let's have a good one, team. Any charts, any questions, anything you'd like me to look at, feel free to send those into the chat and I will get to you guys all shortly. In the meantime, let's have a look at the news. Let's see what we have moving forward here today. We've had some high impact Aussie dollar news, and it was good for the strength of the currency. Not great for people who obviously have loans, variable loans especially, seeing they're less likely to cut rates anytime soon off the back of the CPI data. So the CPI came out greater year on year, quarter on quarter than expected. So therefore it's going to be less likelihood of them cutting the rates anytime soon. Otherwise, moving forward into our session, not much is happening for our particular session here today. We do have obviously FOMC, but is it going ahead? I have no idea. I've not been following it, to be honest, but obviously with the US shutdowns, the government shutdowns, is that still going ahead? Someone might be able to inform me in the chat. If you know so, please feel free to pop that into the chat. But in the meantime, guys, let's get cracking with the analysis. Now let's start with the gold and start in the weekly time frame. And what we can see is we have got the lower high, lower low. What we can also see is we've got no upper wick, and as you hear me often mention on this stream, when everyone's calling for it to create that upper wick, and I'm saying it doesn't necessarily need to, so long as any pullback is met by levels of resistance that we've previously formed and respected, so sellers step back in, defend those levels on the minor time frame, then there is not much of a need for us to necessarily pop up, create the upper wick, and there's a good chance we could come back down towards the low. So doesn't mean that we still can't do it. Obviously, gold being gold at the moment is highly manipulated. Believe it or not, it is extremely highly manipulated. I have reason to believe why, but I'll get into that a little bit later on. But so it would not surprise me if it still flipped to create the upper wick or even close back bullish. But in a minute, we're obviously lower high, lower low, forming strong bearish on the weekly. Daily, close back a weak bearish candle. At this rate, I feel we could be more. Let's just mark in the high and the low of the previous daily candle and see what we got either side of that. And we'll move forward from there onto the 4-hour time frame. So bearish in a weekly, bearish in a daily. 4-hour structure has actually flipped bearish as well. So the bias is going to be to the downside. Believe it or not, team, I am very bullish on gold when it comes to the long-term perspective. But training wise, just for the short term, we are actually, in my opinion, in a downtrend. Believe it or not, we're going to mark in that as the most recent resistance. I mean, we've got some bearish counters here, which you could technically mark in as some resistance, but see what we've got in the 15. For support, let's use that most recent. And we'll work our way down to the 15. So bearish in a 4-hour and 15 time frame. Let's just have a look at the structure here itself. Let's actually adjust this zone a little bit. Let's focus on more recent levels. We'll use that as the 4-hour for the time being. If we need to adjust it. If we end up popping back down, we will do so moving forward. However, what we can see on the M15 is we are technically bearish. Look at that for interruption entry, guys. Yeah, and that would have been a cracker of an entry by the looks of it. All right, technically bearish because we've not had two more consecutive candles pulling back in the opposite direction to the trend, which was bearish. Lowest point is this point here, until this point up at 39.95 roughly. So really anywhere below there, we're technically bearish here on the 15 as well. So bias is to the downside, guys. Doesn't mean I wouldn't be interested in buying it, don't get me wrong. Definitely would be still considering my options to buy it. Just going to mark in a few more levels here. We're going to mark in the most recent support formed at 39.62, and we could prematurely mark in this resistance. I mean, actually we'll wait for the count to close just in case it does actually end up flipping back bullish, which it still could do. So there are the levels of interest for the time being on the gold. All right, the plan of attack. Okay, so the bias is bearish, so I can definitely be considering some sell options. First option for a sell, well, we've got the the euro open upon us. Have we got anything on the 5 minutes to suggest that we could make a deeper pullback as well? I want to see a bit of structure. So what I really would have wanted to see is a little bit of support in the 5 minute, 15 closing strong bearish below the 5 minute support, and then look for a potential sell off the back of that, as opposed to just one 15-minute bearish candle against what has been a pretty strong move to the upside. So for the time being, I'm going to need to wait for that to form on perhaps the 15. So a little bit of support, price to reject and pop below support, and then we could look for a potential sell option. So we'll mark that level in. It has rejected the current daily candle size. Well, yes, the current daily candle size is that. That's Wednesday. Yeah, it is the current daily candle size. Sorry, threw me off for a second. So if we were to form that support, I mean, the likelihood is that we won't have the margin, but let's just, if it does do so, we could look for some potential sells from below 39.8150 roughly. So sells below will be a potential option for me. Now, further sell options are going to come from higher up. So if we did just break to the upside, reject the last significant lower high in the M15, 39.93, 92, 93, that sort of region, once again, be looking for my price action catalyst from higher up. So we're just looking in reference to the levels at the moment that we could potentially get involved in trades. So I'm obviously giving you the sell options first. Whoops. And now we'll make our way to the other end of the spectrum, look for what could be our potential buy options moving forward. So once again, guys, most recent support formed within the current move to the upside, within the current candle, daily candle, which is forming bullish, is this 39.61, 62 sort of region. So if price was to pop back down to that point there, then I would be definitely looking for my price action catalyst from that level for a potential option to take a buy back up. So buys from above the support. And aside from that, what I do like is that we've obviously created the high of the day just now. We've broken through what was the high of the Asian session. We've triggered in sellers at resistance. So if price was to pop above now, close above, retest, begin to pull away, off the back of that, I would also look for a potential option to take a buy. Now, the fact of the matter is, guys, there is a good chance that if we do begin to rip to the upside, take out the sellers that have just stepped back in, it's going to close a little bit too close to resistance, but we'll see anyway. We could look for that potential buy above 39.85 roughly. So that could be another option to the upside. And that is pretty much the plan of attack moving forward here today, guys, on the gold. Hopefully it made sense. Let's just remove the zones that are far off for the time being. And let's see how we go today. I'm just going to add a zone here. Okay, hopefully that made sense, guys. So let's just quickly look at the 5 minute again. No support yet, so no real structure here on the 5 minute to the downside. I mean, we definitely have it to the upside. There's nothing yet to really give me the confidence to take it off the back of just the 15-minute candle closing bearish, because this could just be another pause similar to what we had here. So I want to wait for a bit of a stronger confirmation at the minute. All right, guys, onto the GJ, and I sent a chart into my members group. I will use that. I'll just remove the drawings for a moment, and let's do the top down on GJ. So the weekly forming a liquidity counter. So it broke the high, would have had a higher low, higher high. If there was to continue bullish, there would not necessarily be a need for it to pop back down and break its own low. And seeing it has done so, I do believe there's a high probability that this candle is going to end up closing a strong bearish candle on the weekly time frame. What we got in the daily is counter probabilities to the downside. Once again, we're approaching what was the previous resistance. So a pretty stubborn level that we did respect last time. We've obviously tapped into the resistance by the looks of it multiple times, and we continue to remain above it. We do have counter probabilities to the downside though. So again, still seeming like we could continue further to the downside here. The 4-hour structure has in fact flipped back bearish as well. So bias is going to be bearish here on GJ when it comes to the 4-hour, or the overall picture. We're just going to add that level and we'll adjust it accordingly. Now onto the 15-minute, if that's what you want to use, 15 or 30. We'll use the 15 here. We'll just remove that zone, to be honest. We know we've got some support, very solid support just below the current support at the daily low. It's going to be tricky to sell below current daily low. 15-minute structure is also technically bearish, so the bias is to the downside, but seeing we are at some very strong support, like I mentioned here on the 4-hour and also on the daily, I would look for a potential buy option if it were me. So what I'd be looking for is maybe now, if price was to begin to consolidate and respect this current 4-hour level, maybe pop back above what was the previous support, form some resistance at it, pop back above it, close above it, retest it, begin to pull away from it. Then I'll look for a potential buy option off the back of that. Aside from that, I'd just be looking for pullback sells, guys. So the Asian range high would now come into play if price did pull back, only to respect, reject, and I'd be looking for an opportunity to take a sell back below that point there. And that is pretty much it on GJ. And we'll look at any other pairs as per request moving forward, but let's focus on the gold. So let's see if we can wipe out the sellers here and look for a potential buy moving forward. How are we, team? Ladies and gents, Franco, good morning to you. Lau, good morning. Bartman, appreciate it. Paul, hope you're well, bro. Zach, how are you, mate? And Kyle, good morning, my friend. So keep an eye on the gold, looking like it wants to perhaps continue to the upside. TikTok, how are we? Let me have a look through the chat. Jibs, good afternoon to you. Welcome. Max FDZZ. I use Forex Factory, but Financial Juice is probably better. It's probably more up to date, more quick with the breaking news. But why I use Forex Factory is because it's what a lot of the industry follows. It's what the prop firms base their red follow news parameters around, the Forex Factory events. But it's really much of a muchness, to be honest. So pretty much the same shit. What else? Not being restricted today. Interesting. Heavy Metal Bulldogs UCAD. Wow, I don't even have it here on my watch list. That's how often it gets asked about. But anyway, let's look at USD CAD. What were you saying? Short. I've lost the chat. Good for short. Let me quickly look at it. Oh, it's made a massive sell-off, hasn't it? It's just come off the back of a big sell-off. Weekly, strong bearish. Daily, broken low, lower high, lower low at pretty solid support by the looks of things though. 4-hour, whoops, is definitely bearish in structure. Let's just mark that level in. All right, so the good thing is it's formed resistance just above the support, so above that 139.50 There'll be likely good, nice options to take a buy below the support. It could be continuation sells. Let's quickly look at it now. Yeah, look, it's come from basically a high day. You got pretty clean candles to the left. What I would prefer to see is perhaps price triggering some buyers, wipe those buyers out, close below that 139.320, and then look for a potential sell. Otherwise, look for a sell upon a pullback. Really, so long as we're below this 139.50, 139.480 sort of region, I'd prefer sell options. All right, back to the gold. 9 minutes, guys. Let's just hope it doesn't pump. No impulse entries for me. Now, not valid at me. I need to patiently wait for the closure. What else? Thank you to the new followers. KJB, sell now? No. No. 400, 700. Are you ready for it? I definitely won't be trading gold. I definitely won't be trading. Won't be up for it. It's what, 4 or 5 a.m. my time. Odds to the moon. I hope it dumps. I really do, guys. And not trading wise, I really couldn't care less. I'm happy to trade it up or down, but I want to accumulate more and I want to get in at a better price. So I'm talking about future holdings, not paper trading. I'm talking about the physical stuff, not the paper shit, not trading it. Again, it's physical accumulation of the metal itself. B, sell or buy. Looking for a potential buy perhaps in 7 and a bit minutes. Jack, look, no idea. Not sure what's expected to come out of the Fed. I don't think they're likely going to cut rates anytime soon. So off the back of that, like, yes, that could be good for gold to continue up. Double top by gold potentially. Takwa over Fatwa. Your strategy. What strategy do you use? Simple price action, mate. At predetermined levels. So just watch, learn. I have price action signals that I look out for at my levels of interest. No name, hope you're well, brother. Just a question of price wicks through resistance, close it back below. At level, does it invalidate the continuation play if it then chooses to move higher? Is it playing out gold now? No, it doesn't invalidate it, mate. It just means you need to wait for it to set up again. So obviously, what I mean by that is at the minimum, wait for this count to close. If it closes where it's at, fantastic. It's also a strong catalyst because it closed right up near the high, well above the bodies that it counters into the left, well into my blue zone. So I just need a lower wick, and as it begins to break out, that's where the entry will be. Takwa Fawa, is it type 2? Not sure what that's in reference to, mate. Do you know Daniel Holmes? You two trade very similar. No, never. Someone I think has mentioned his name on stream, but I have no idea who the guy is, to be honest. No name, all good, mate. Tommy, good morning to you. Trade delicious. Nice to join. Thank you, mate. Members, before I forget, let me share a link with you. All right. My team. It's big news, guys, too. And it's only for my viewers and my team. A good team at Forextester. Give me a secret little link that it's not, they don't display the monthly subscription on their website. There is no such thing as a monthly subscription for Forextester Online. But the good team at Forextester Online have given me a secret kind of backdoor link that you guys can use. It's pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. For those in TikTok, if you are interested, send me a DM and I'll send you the link, and you have to use the promo code or gold pumping. Otherwise they won't know how you gain access to the secret link, and they won't actually give you access to the monthly subscription. So you need to use the link, sorry, the code along with the link. Wow, gold doing its thing at the minute. All right, we could have an interruption play, guys. Just don't want to tap in the target. As long as it doesn't tap into his target, we could have a potential interruption play. Actually, no. Learned a lesson from the last time I took a very, very similar entry. Who remembers that one? What was the issue with that one? We'd just broken the Asian range, Asian session high. It was EU open. Price had not yet retested that level, and it just sank straight through it. So this is very, very similar. So perhaps instead of a limit order, what we may do, this is something I've put forward to my team. We may even go down to the micro time frame, that being the 1 minute, and wait for some type of confirmation from that level to potentially buy it, as opposed to using the limit order. So we could still have a potential buy option, guys, but we don't want to tap in the target just now. Target would be that 39.93 region. Jojo, yep, it's broken out. Wow. Really broken out, hasn't it? Absolutely flying. All right, so next point of interest to the upside, if it does continue, is 39.94.20 above that point. However, I wouldn't just buy it as we pop or close above that point there if we have not triggered in some sellers. Wow, we are absolutely flying at the minute. So for me, I definitely need to pause. I need at least a candle on the M15 closing back bearish. I'm not chasing this. This is a huge candle. The issue is stop loss. Stop loss is huge. We've come from well within the Asian session range. We've created a candle of, wow, over 200 pips. Yeah, I definitely need to wait for some sellers to be triggered in at the current level. Wipe those sellers out, close above, and then I would trust a continuation buy. At this rate, I need to patiently wait. Let's see. Also, GU, I just briefly marked up a chart just prior to the stream. Big strong downtrend at the moment on GU. I'd be looking for pullback sells. However, it is at a strong level of support. And again, as I always say to my team, irrespective of this bias and structure, you gotta ask yourself, where are we on the chart? If we're at a strong level, a previous level, which I believe we are, it may make more sense to look for a trade in the opposite direction with some sort of catalyst. Don't really see it at the minute though, to be honest. I would still preference the sells, but I'd wait for a pullback sell or potential buys above on a confirmation of the M15 flipping back bullish above 132.550 roughly. Wow, gold. Jack, yes, I'm on YouTube at the same time. Tommy, how are you, mate?
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure. Cracking entry, mate. Absolutely perfect. Tell you what, these daily interruption entries are gold. They really are. Would not have failed once, I don't think, in any of these interruption entries. The ones from here, the ones I took. Perfect. Look at that one as well. Wow. Nice work, mate.
Cheers, mate.
That'll be the month. Well, actually, it is the end of the month, so it probably is the month anyway. Oh, nice job, mate. Nice job. Although I do wish it pulled back, in all honesty. What's the target? Are you just gonna try to stop, or?
So I haven't thought about it yet. I'm just sort of thinking, is this going to be are we now in the pullback phase to keep going higher?
Yeah. I think the 4K level is going to be that psychological number.
Yeah. Hope someone took it with me.
Don't know if anyone did, to be honest. Like I said, I kind of felt like I was jumping on the bandwagon because I wasn't even aware of it until you told me, basically 2 minutes before you told me yesterday when I first had a look at the charts. I knew you'd be in it. I knew it. Thinking myself, I bet you Tommy's taking this.
I had it marked up for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be suicide not to take it.
That's it.
Good morning, guys.
Okay, how are you?
Hey. Yeah, I'm okay. And you?
Yeah, all good, mate. All...
Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you. Better day today.
I took this also. Pardon me?
Better day today, so yeah. Alright.
Yeah. Tommy was asking who one took this also, so yeah, as I mentioned, I took it also, but I was already out yesterday.
Yeah, it's a...
Early.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, to be honest.
But I'm looking more and more on these. For example, I'm looking on GU, on the IC plate, which is in the near on the M50, 30, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this one, and you see this correct. And this line's very good with this resistance there. Yeah.
Yep.
I will give it a try when the prices come into this area to take some sales from them.
To be honest, this is the delayed ones are the ones where I probably want to see, like we spoke about yesterday, the members call. Probably want to see a little bit of rejection on the 1 minute, maybe like maybe a bit of support, that type of scenario, perhaps. Just because I don't trust it as much. Again, still accumulating the data though to trust it more. But
yeah, you mentioned the Forextester.
Yeah.
You mentioned that there is a link in the description.
No, sorry, in the chat, in the top of the chat, it's pinned to the top of the chat.
Okay.
It's also I posted into the VIP, mate, into the general chat. So yeah, it's a secret link that it's not on their homepage. You can't find it anywhere. But we'll see.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, nice. That's good. It's good. They are, that they are flexible at the end.
Apparently not.
Okay.
Apparently not. Apparently they weren't too. I mean, the person I deal with, the people I deal with, were fine. They were more than happy. But apparently, the owner wasn't. But anyway,
something special at the end.
Yeah, he said just use this link and. Yeah, so good for you guys. Ash, coffee or tea? It's actually, to be honest, it's like a 0 sugar hot chocolate because I want to mix creatine with something. So that's what I'm having at the minute. KJB, we missed the buy. No, it's not my planned trade, so there's nothing missed. There's nothing to do about it. I've got a new plan of attack. I need to pause now. I need to trigger in some sellers. There's no FOMO buys. That is the move. I wasn't willing to take the impulse trade because I didn't have the confirmation to do so. So I have to just accept it. Now, if it continues to move up, again, there's not much I can do about it. It'll just be a matter of waiting for price to make a bit of a pullback. Once again, form support and then look for a potential option off the back of that. Not chasing nothing though. So that leads to errors, and that leads to FOMO, that leads to emotions taking over your trading, that leads to bad habits, that leads to your account being blown, things like that. So just chill, not miss nothing. Kareem, your entry is 39.68. Nice work. Abu, what number you think it's hitting? 4K would be obviously the next target. Aside from that, I do believe there's a good chance coming up to 4,011, 4,020 roughly. But we'll see. No confirmation until it actually does that. Who was with us on Monday? Hit full TP on Monday, 130 plus pips on gold. That was a cracking trade based off the M5 and M15. Let's see if we can get something similar today. Actually, we get another good trade today. Who knows? We just have to wait and see what presents. Again, if we follow our plan, follow rules, there's a good chance that if it does present, that will be on the end of a decent trade. But if we try to force something, we may get caught out. So just gonna chill. Renz, how can I join so I start trading from New Zealand? Watch the streams, you'll learn a lot by just watching the streams. There's a link on my profile page. You can join the free Discord. It's probably a good place to start. Otherwise, what I would suggest is have a look at this website, which I'm about to type in to the chat. Just add .com to the end of it. That's a free website. You don't need a subscription. I think there is a paid option, but you don't need it. And that will just help you when it comes to basics and learning and, you know, getting started with trading. It's a really good website. That's how most of us begun, I think, our journey. All good. And what I would suggest is just follow and watch people who trade live. Is what you're going to see on TikTok, on IG, on all social media networks is the amazing things that people do by trading Forex. So obviously, you know, the Forex lifestyle sort of stuff with their sports cars and all that crap. Most of it's just bullshit. So don't trust anyone like that. Just watch people who trade live and learn from them. So we can't hide anything. Falling alive, we're putting ourselves on the line day in, day out. All right, GJ at support, trying to break through it, but again, a little bit concerned by what we have here to the left on GJ. So I personally would not be looking for a continuation sell here. I'd be more in favor of the buy options. Let's quickly look at GU again. Still hovering above the support. Have a look at EU. Similar to GU, I would prefer to sell it. You do have not a bad catalyst to buy it though, to be honest. At the minute, you could almost be in a buy the back of the strength of that previous candle. But I would still preference to sell options, and that would be upon the pullback. AU has had some, again, high impact news today, and it has been pushing to the upside, which is me. For anyone interested, you probably need to wait for it to reset. So pull back, form support before looking for continuation entries. Zach, what's the go? The go is we're now looking for gold to reset. So want to trigger in some sellers at this point. Maybe form a little bit of a minor resistance above the current support at 39.95. In a pop above, so another pause similar to the here, and then potentially look for an entry off the back of price popping above the pause or closing above it. The similar scenario is what I was looking for here, but now I want it to present a little bit higher up. Got clean traffic. I am fully aware it could just rip to the upside. But again, this is not my trade. It's not my planned scenario. Again, I would not be comfortable after it's pushed over 200 pips on the previous candle without it resetting by triggering in some sell pressure at the current level. Friends, that's true. Yep. Michael, trade the same session pretty much every day. I didn't trade it yesterday though. I do have other sources of income on the side, one of which has been really crazy busy for the last week or so, and will be for the next few weeks. And I do believe it's good to have something in the background because it takes the stress and out of trading. You don't necessarily need to trade, you don't force trades. I think that's what's really been, you know, a big stepping stone in my development, knowing that I don't need to necessarily trade. It's fantastic if I get a trade, but if I just follow my rules, and if it presents, gives me an option, I trade. If not, there's no stress. Still got other income coming in. So probably good for some people to have that. Others will say just a distraction from their trading, which is fair enough as well. But for me, also being here in Oz, it's perfect because I can trade London session quite easily each day. The time suits. NY is a bit late for me. Asian session for the most part, if I really wanted to, I could trade it, but most of the time I want to do other things throughout the day. For instance, today I was at the gym, didn't choose to be on the charts for Asian session. Let's have a look at gold. Got a bit of a 5-minute pause here. I'm gonna close the 15 and 30. So similar to what we took the other day, but to the upside here. Could we potentially get involved in a buy limit order? So opposed to the sell limit we took the other day, based off the 5-minute interruption here. I would want to close very strong at the minute. If it closes like so, no, definitely no entry. Has to close well above. Let's have a look at the 30. Wow, it's a really strong candle. We've still got over 30 minutes remaining. All right, let's watch it in a 5-minute here. All right, it doesn't look like it's going to be valid. So likely back to the original play. I'm waiting for some sellers step in here, close a 15-minute candle back in the opposite direction. And then depending on how we close, you look for an option as it breaks the high of that particular candle, or if it closes above it. Yep, so no confirmation just yet. Do you try if you're short, close? I I'm not sure what your confirmation was to sell unless you're in from much higher up. Where was the entry, mate? You should have a plan. You should have a stop loss. You should have a trade management plan. How you go about it if it goes against you. What point you consider cutting some partials. It just depends what you're looking at. Is it a swing trade, short-term trade? What's the deal? Needed a bit more information to give you more of an opinion. If you're going to trade EU long at 29 minutes, at in 30 minutes, Forex Factory predicts. All right, interesting. Based off Forex Factory, look, if you got the data to suggest that that sort of information is correct, then up to you, mate. But I wouldn't be saying, not like I say to you guys, right? In 29 minutes from now, London Open, we're buying gold. How do I know? In 29 minutes from now, we could be back below 4K. Well, we are below 4K, but back below the resistance here at 39.80 for all I know. Michael Jackson, yeah, full no risk management, full margin. The move forecast has been correct today so far. Okay, fair enough. Each to their own. I wish you luck. Are we going to come back down to the Asian range high? And this would be interesting if we do. So 39.85 roughly. Be fantastic if price did pull back to that point where we could potentially look for an option. Once again, it could even go down to the micro time frame, see how price reacts to the interruption at that level. And then once I have a solid enough confirmation of that time frame, the amount in 1 minute, maybe a bit of structure forming, then I could trust the delayed interruption entry. But what I want to see is price actually retest that zone if we are to actually drop lower down and see how we react to it, as opposed to just placing a limit order. Luca's too early for short. Yes, definitely in my opinion. It's at 3% increase for AUD after its CPI news. It was a big spike. Yeah, I know there was a big spike on the Aussie dollar. Douglas, TP 39.80 quick sell. Not for me, mate. Not for me. Zach, sounds good. Not a problem, mate. So we'll see. I mean, if this closes back weak bearish after tapping into the range below on the M15, I'll be looking to buy it on the next M15 candle above this bearish candle high. So, all right. So those who follow me on the regular, you guys probably know what I'm about to do with the fib. Those who haven't, or just started watching me or haven't followed me for long, watch and learn. This is how I use a fib, or why I use a fib. So I'm using it very differently. It's not to give me an entry point. I'm using it to gauge strength of a candle in order to know whether I have a valid entry as price begins to break it on the following candle, or whether I need to wait for another candle to close above to give me the right signal, validate an entry. So for me, what will validate a potential entry on the following candle, and that's anticipating this is going to be the high and low of the candle, is if we actually close above the 0.382. And why that level? Because that suggests to me that it was a weak bearish closure, and off the back of the data I've accumulated over more than 8 years now, if the following candle is to begin to break above the high of this candle after it closed above the 0.382, so let me just quickly draw it. It's going to look a little bit like, for instance, like so. If it closed like so, or as long as it closes bearish as well, create that minor resistance above support, there would be a high probability for following candle create just a small lower wick. Doesn't necessarily need to pull the way back to tap into that previous level. As long as it's got a small lower wick and begins to break the high of that bearish candle into the clean traffic to the left, would be a high probability that we will continue to the upside. So again, that's what I mean by letting it reset and give me another signal. That is a potential signal and option that we could be looking out for. If it closes above, then it's still a good chance that it's going to continue bullish, but it's too strong of a bearish closure for me to validate any impulse entries begin to break. So therefore, what I would need to do is simply wait for another candle to close back above or close to the high, preferably engulfing that bearish candle, and that would validate an entry. It's very simple rules to follow, so we'll leave that horizontal in at that point there, and we know if we close above it, we could have potential buy stops on the next M15 candle. I'll touch. Thank you for the sticker, appreciate it, mate. And if we close below, then again, we're going to be looking at potentially 39.85 for opportunities to get involved in a buy from that point. We need to readjust this fib as we create a lower low here as well. So we'll do that shortly. All right, so the 15-minute, we have confirmation that we're flip structure bullish. Yeah, so I'm not keen on selling it off the back of one candle, to be honest, after such a big push to the upside. I understand, you know, it's tempting. I'm gonna wait for a potential buy though. And what would give me more confidence to take a sell would be similar to what I just mentioned to the upside, but if we close below this support and we had a 15-minute bullish, weak bullish candle closing back below the resistance, that would validate options at London Open for a potential sell. Right upper wick is to break the bullish candle low, will likely hang back down to the Asian range high. So again, it's just me playing to my strengths, playing to what I am familiar with, the signals I am familiar with in price action, and not jumping in between. So it doesn't mean it can't make a move without that confirmation. And yes, it means I'm not in it, but it just means it's not my trade. So it's not a missed trade, it's just not my trade. Always mention to my guys, you need to trade to your strengths, guys. All right, let's just quickly adjust this fib as well. All right, so a little bit lower down now. Leonardo, you sold, nice one. Grubby, yeah, I know, it's just trade a low. It's all good, I'll do it shortly. I'll do it closer to the closure, maybe 2 minutes left, because there's a good chance it's gonna, once again, trade a low. There's a good chance we're not gonna close back above as well, so likely not gonna get the option either way. So perhaps we could get that sell into the potential buy zone. Yeah, so no real structure here on the 5 to the downside. We're still, structure is still intact to the upside here on the minor time frame, the micro time frames. Right, so let's adjust this fib again. All right, so we're still just above the resistance. It has to be above the resistance as well. That's another thing. All right, so that's a new level we need to close above. If this is to be the lowest point and this is to be the highest point of the candle. So we still may do it, guys. Now, the only other issue will be stop loss. So what it would come down to is the entry candle. So therefore it has to have a little bit of a low wick, and we'd have to just back that in as a reasonable level for the stop loss. Otherwise, you're looking at a monster stop loss. About 76 pips. Look, to be honest, I actually may just use that and go a really small lot size, seeing it is a small, wider stop loss than usual. And then just the way to manage the trade would be by adjusting your stop loss to the low of the entry candle pretty much as soon as you trigger it. That will mitigate your risk by, well, quite substantially. Be half, could be more than half. Remains to be seen. But we may have a valid entry here shortly, guys. What is the high of this candle? Let me have a look. $39.97.38, so $39.97.60. I would look for an entry if it is valid. All right, so we may have the first tick. We may be closing above that horizontal 0.382. We need a lower wick though, and as soon as we get that lower wick, buy stops would be valid. Ravi, how do you decide to choose this 15-minute red candle? Just through testing over it and just seeing the same sort of thing play out over more than 8 years of experience trading. So it's a solid rule I've used for probably the last maybe 3 years, 2 and a bit years, 3 years. But I've tested it, I've seen it, I see it regularly. Again, it's all part of the grind. You pick up on these things. Zach, so I'd be looking at a potential entry at 39.97.6. That's 2 and a bit pips above the high on my broker's chart. So I would suggest likewise on whatever your broker is, have a look at what the highest point in this bearish candle is. And if you do like the trade, you understand it, think it's a good entry, don't just take it because I'm going to take it. You guys have to understand it. You have to know why you're taking it. You have to, first of all, you need to be accepting of your risk. This is not what I want to see. I don't want it to flip bullish. I really don't want it to flip bullish, guys. I want it to close back bearish. It still is a liquidity candle, so it's still, to me, pretty solid of an entry. Tommy. No one's asking you, mate. Sorry. Still, I want to join you in a buy, mate. I just want this to close like so, and then I'd be also trying to join you. All right, 30 seconds. Let's see. 30 seconds remain, guys. Zach, all good. Ravi, you think, what about retrace the 50% of the wick rejection block? Not worried about all that, to be honest. I'm just following my rules, my plan, what works for me. All right, so we need 15 seconds, guys. First of all, it has to close above this horizontal. We need a low wick, and as soon as we get low wick, buy stops are valid. Now we'll put it up here soon as it becomes valid. All right, tick 1. Need a low wick. Need a low. All right, we've got a bit of low wick. Valid. So 37.60. That's the original stop. But what I would do is definitely start to manage risk if it broke its own low. Target, overall target would be the resistance here at 4,011. But again, I would secure in between as I see fit. So I've set an order. $39.97.6. We'll see. Arthur, stop loss is below the previous 715. So we've tapped back into that previous resistance again. So if we do respect it once again, if we start to pop back down too low, then it's probably one of those ones where we need to wait for London Open, just see how this candle closes. But still, I've got it in just now. And the other thing is, I don't want it to come too close to session open, because again, at that point, it's just best to let it play out and wait to see where we're at for London Open. So let's just see. Pulling back. Oh, it's pulling back a little bit more than what I would have liked to see, to be honest. What would stop loss be just now? That candle. That's 60 pips. Oof. Yeah, I'm gonna remove it, guys. I don't like the fact that we're pulling back into range below again, to be honest. So when you think we'll pull back to the Asian 15, then go, mate? Yeah, I think that could be the play, to be honest. Yeah, I've removed the order, guys. Gonna wait for either price to still close above for London Open. Closing now, similar sort of circumstance could play out in the 30 and it will be valid based off the 30. We get closure above. Let's just see if it's the exact same level. It is. So we could look for the exact same entry based on the M30. It's a more solid of an entry, seeing it's the higher time frame, stronger confirmation. And also London Open. Be great if we get a bit of a low wick. Volume plays out for a minute or two, and then decides to push above, and that could be us to continue to the upside. Or the other scenario could be that we do actually in fact pull back to the Asian range high. And at that point, like I said, I'm going to go down to the micro time frames and see what sort of options we can get, as opposed to looking for the buy limit. So they're the two options just now, guys. Boo, just be patient. If you lose, you lose it. I'm extremely patient, mate. I follow my rules and plan to a T. Don't see me jumping in out of FOMO. Never. So I don't like it based off the 15 in the minute. And if it goes, it goes. I've decided to wait for the 30. Now the other option could be if it does go on the 15, the bullish engulfing, and then we've got the interruption play valid again. So that will obviously look somewhat like so. And then the interruption high of that bearish candle will be valid at session open. Oh man, what's your pump now? All good. Auto trading. You know what, guys? I'll be back in 1 minute. Don't go anywhere. All right, let's see. IG Madam Stace, thank you for sharing a live. Do appreciate it. Mango long or short, looking for a potential buy, but waiting for London Open now. Let's quickly do the rounds. GJ close below the support. Like I mentioned, not interested in that level personally. What I'd be looking for though, so GJ just now, what I would actually do is I'd shift this to that point there. And I would say closures above that point there. Seeing with form resistance back above the support, we close back above it, back above the 4-hour support itself, back above the most recent resistance formed just above the support. I believe that would be a really nice entry point to the upside in GJ above 201.333 to be exact. GU just still respecting the 4-hour level. There is no confirmation at all in either direction in my opinion. EU, nothing on EU. No real momentum in the majors at the minute. They're all just consolidating. AU trickling to the upside. EJ, some pretty nice price action on EJ. Good potential buy zone above 177.03 if anyone does trade it. UJ, similar to EJ actually. Anyway, back to the gold. Just over 7 minutes remaining. Mango, all good. Caden, you reckon it's going to go up to its previous high at the end of the year? I believe it, personally, I believe it will. But who knows? Who knows? Like I mentioned before, I believe the gold markets are extremely manipulated at the moment. When it has dumped recently, very recently, I'm talking about this week and last week, who do you guys think have been the major buyers of physical gold since? It's not me, and I wish it was. It's no retail traders. It's the Bank of America and Morgan Stanley. So I believe there is some sort of something at play going on between the major banks trying to squash the price of gold so they can buy it back at cheaper rates. So don't be surprised if we get these, you know, big pullbacks, because usually gold and silver aren't, I mean, yes, they're volatile, but not like Bitcoin. To be honest, you don't get these wild 5 to 10% swings over a couple of days normally. You know, 1 or 2% swing on gold is quite significant, but not these days. Wow, now it's starting to move. All right, let's see if it's going to wait for us. We've rejected the range below multiple times now, so looking good to continue up. Zach, have I seen the Australian 200? No, I haven't, but I'm assuming it's pumped. What is the ticket for Oz 200 or? Oh, it's dumped, actually. Okay. Oh, actually, yeah, this week's dumping, but it is at all-time highs, so. As with any decent indice at the moment, they're all pretty much at all-time highs. Wow, NASDAQ. Oh. Forever bubble continues at the minute. NASDAQ, Bitcoin also well back above 100k. Full port will. Bullish bias is bullish. Oh well, technically speaking, the way I look at the charts, bearish, but I'm more bullish against what the technicals are telling me. The way I analyze the chart, I'm still more bullish. I have the minor time frame structure is definitely bullish. Obviously, the weekly candles for me bearish. I look more into the candle itself with counter probabilities to the downside. Daily, previous daily was bearish, but if we begin to pop above, then again that flips my bias to being bullish in that time frame. Wire structure I see is technically bearish as well. So bit of a mixed bag, but I am preferring the buys. All right, so 3.5 minutes left, guys. What we need to focus on is what is the highest point of the current candle. The options are going to be either the London open candle creating a lower wick and looking for an entry as it begins to break above our catalyst candle, bullish engulfing candle high. If this does close strong engulfing, the other option will be the limit order IC entry, interruption candle entry, which would be placed at the high of that bearish candle. Now stop loss would be back below the low of it, and the target once again would be, the overall target would be the resistance up higher up around this $4,011, that sort of region. So if we close where we're at just now, I'd be looking for a limit order buy personally. So the high of that bearish candle, 39.9738. Them's the breaks, would have worked, but never mind. Now if we close back like this, I would probably favor the continuation buy, but we'll see, guys. I'll let you guys know. Got just over 2 minutes remaining. Cougar day up, yep. AJB, have you taken a trade? No, not yet. Could be shortly. Hafiz, so shall we buy? If you believe it's a buy, for me, I'm waiting for session open here. Do believe the interruption plays a little bit riskier at the open of the session because there's likely going to be more volatility about. But it is valid entry. For Luto 911, the Chinese are buying lows too. They definitely are buying a shit ton of gold and silver. All right, guys. Let's see. I would say we need to be at least 15 pips above for limit order. We have 1 minute remaining. We need to leave an upper wick. That's first things first. We need to leave an upper wick. And if we do, and we close pretty much where we're at, then I'll look for a limit order buy. Stop loss back below the interruption candle itself. Tricky one to manage, these ones. So go lower risk. It is very difficult to manage because normally I would start to manage trade if it broke the low of the previous candle. In this case, it's not much above the actual stop loss itself. Let's see. Looks like we could have a valid interruption entry here, guys. So I've not set just yet, but I'm about to set it. I've got it ready to set. It needs to leave an upper wick. Oh, you're kidding me. You have got to be joking. No upper wick. Them's the breaks. And often what happens is as the next candle opens up, that's kind of like the residual volume left over from the previous candle. Spiked straight up, now it's popping back down. Again, it's a rule. It's a rule, guys. No entry. So it turns out to be that the original idea was the one that would have worked, but again, all good. I chose not to execute on that for a good reason. It is what it is now. I just need to again let it completely reset. So we'll see how this candle develops, and then we'll come up with what we could look at moving forward. GJ, Nothing there. EU, nothing there. EU. How it rolls, guys. That's how the dice rolls. El Guitarra, ESP, do you think GJ will close the gap below? Been talking about the clean move up. Who knows, mate? It's still got a fair bit of traffic to get through before it does that. If it starts to close below 200.7 roughly, then yeah, good chance it may make the move back down. Much you can do about it. TikTok. When does the New York session start UK time? No idea. I'm in Oz. I think it's like midday or something. 1 o'clock, something like that. I'm not sure. Tommy, Franco, and you guys will know. I don't trade MY session this time of year. Sorry?
What was the question?
When does MY open UK time?
UK time. So I think at
I think it's 12 now.
so Wall
it
Street.
12, is it?
So we are.
I think because of the daylight savings, is it 12 or is it 1? It's usually 1, but I don't know if the daylight savings is
I don't think it's 12 at the moment because I don't think the US have changed their clocks yet.
Yeah, I think
So
so another week
yeah,
or
you
so.
are right, Tommy. It's 1 o'clock.
1? Okay.
UK time. Yeah, it's German 2 o'clock.
Okay, yeah. Man, Tommy.
I did tell you.
Why
All
did
the
I not
time.
give into FOMO for once in my life yesterday when I saw the daily? I swear I knew it. As soon as 2 minutes before I was about to jump on the call, I sort of re-tapped in and it started to bounce off it, and I was probably about 20 pips too late at that point. I'm like, I can't just jump in. I know it came back down though.
Best entry.
Probably. No, but it did come back down. But
Yeah.
I kind of felt like it was too late because I missed the initial tap in, and that's, you know, I'd be really dirty myself if it shat in the bed afterwards. And look at it now. Look at it now. Wow.
I think it's like $100 in.
Wow.
It's more, yeah. 3898.49 was my entry.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal, mate. What an entry. Here's little me trying to find an entry based off the 15-minute price action, which is being a bit of a pain in the ass at the minute. Pretty solid confirmations. I mean, that one was valid, but again, I just didn't like how it continued to pull back. It's what it is. Chose not to get involved, and yeah, not much you can do now.
I nearly got taken out BE overnight.
Oh really?
Yeah, it had like a bit of a wick down. Yeah, that.
Oh, just here.
That one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh mate, look at it now. buying more silver yesterday. Gone up bloody $5 since, I think. All good. FEs, how much shall we buy? When you take a trade, you trade based off whatever you can afford to risk. So I wouldn't go full margin. I'd be risking 1 or 2% max probably of an account. Personally speaking, I risk sometimes up to 5% because I use generally I use fixed lots, but off late I've had to lower lot sizes because gold stop losses have been huge. Good day, good discipline. Thank you, mate. I think so as well. Alice, sorry, trying to follow along. Does that mean it looks bullish? Bullish from opening? Yeah, definitely bullish off the back of the way multiple counts rejected the previous resistance, which price had previously closed above. So what that suggests to me is that there is more buyers present at the current level. So let's try to push it back below. And yeah, that's what's happened. Continue up. So yeah, all good. Stewart price 130, only 130. No, it's not 130. 120 is the comics. Yeah, comics opens 20 minutes after the currency open, and you got the NYSE opening an hour and a half, I think. So unless you're thinking of NYSE, that's an hour and a half after the currency open normally. Limit price, well, it's well, look, could be the delayed limit order. That could be the next potential option. I think I'll be on for it though. Yeah, still got an IC present at 39.97.37, and that still remains the potential entry point.
What's strange is that the Dixie is also very strong right now.
Yeah, that's why I always say I don't bother looking at it when I'm trading gold, because it doesn't always move against each other.
Yeah, makes no sense. And
So
also expecting that if the funds are cutted, so then the dollar will drop at the end. So it's strange that
yeah, potentially.
that they're moving up right now.
US change next week. MG472. Thank you for that. Sense you went long, not anticipating nothing, mate. I didn't even end up going long, to be honest. The plan was to, but again, it just didn't quite tick the box. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with rate cuts. It's all technicals, mate. I don't trade news. Good day. 4,001 was my entry. Nice one. Nice one, mate. Good work. Happy to see it. Happy to hear it. Renz is gold Forex. Well, it's against the US dollar. So trade against the US dollar. Some consider it Forex. Gold itself is not Forex, obviously. Gold is a precious metal or a commodity. I mean, what precious metal is more your platinum. I suppose that's a commodity as well, though. Obviously, silver is also monetary. Of course, it's of monetary value, but it's considered in parts of the world currency. It's a monetary metal and industrial metal. I know in parts of the states, you can now pay for things it's legal to tender again. So not that you would spend your silver on buying bloody bananas at the grocery store, but you can actually do it now. If should we wait for pullbacks or sell 4,019? Personally, I'd be waiting for the pullback buy. I understand why you're saying 4019, and perhaps later on with my guys, maybe look if I am going to be on the charts later on. Yeah, it is a 4-hour resistance, so I could potentially look for rejection of that level. 4-hour, the way I see it, still technically bearish in structure as well. So yeah, all the way up to 4019, I do see what you mean by that. Should Terry just turned 210k in 2 weeks. Forex is amazing. Yeah, all right, careful guys. If this dude tries to send you a DM, just report it. Sorry mate, if that's the case, fantastic if it's true, but it just smells like a scam. Kukaday, how long? More than 8 years. B bogey 7154. They melting the gold. You think gold will go higher, say around 4050? Yeah, I do believe. Not sure if it happened today though. No, I doubt it, but who knows with FOMC? It could. Who knows? Who knows? Neo, hello to you. Gold is just pushed to the upside, so yeah, perhaps could have got that entry. I mean, it was the plan, but it is what it is. Them's the breaks. Chose to avoid it after it kept pulling back. Now, not much I can do. Just need to wait. Little stall. What if there's pullback to 39.80? Yeah, that would be okay. That would be a retest and actually pop below the Asian range high. Pop back above that point, and that could be good for an option to buy it. You know, if MC will bring good news for gold and stocks, yes, potentially, but again, doesn't always eventuate, and maybe it's being priced in at the minute. Who knows? Oh, Rahman, which strategy? It's my own, mate. Price action at predetermined levels. I have my own signals which validate entries. So not everyone has to use FVGs and SMC, all that stuff. I just do what works for me. Kukaday, do you trade? Yeah, live. No, I've had real bad experience with a funded account. One of my members had a very similar experience recently. I don't trust them. Though there are some which are more trustworthy, but since my personal experience, I don't trust them. So live. Gary, thank you for a sticker whenever you send that. Sorry, I just noticed it. Man. The important thing is, guys, so didn't take the entry. The important thing is not to get FOMO. And that's something that took quite a lot of time to be able to come to grips with. Sometimes what I used to do is I would have the plan and have no reason to not execute upon the plan when it presented, but got a little bit scared and chose not to. Didn't trust myself, and then saw it play out, and then I thought, shit, well, I missed the move, I better jump in and get absolutely wrecked. The difference now is when I see a move and I planned it and I've decided to remove it because of a reason, it's usually a pretty good reason. And if it still ends up making a move, now I know. That's it. You don't jump in. There is no such thing as FOMO. FOMO is what absolutely destroys you. So right now, again, I just need to reassess. There is nothing I can do to get involved just yet. live TV. I bought at 39.54 and holding. Nice one. Yeah, you're looking good. Not VB. No. No, no entry at the minute. Like to VF City Market might try pullback. Look, potentially. As long as any pullback is support is respected, so previous levels, so the level I'm speaking of right now will be that 39.95 region, which we have already respected. And we could continue bullish, but it is approaching some strong resistance here on the 4 hour. Lines up with support to the left as well. Zach, you still bullish in US That's 100 after being so high? Yeah, look, personally, well, it's quite obvious it's in an uptrend. Let's, before I get into my belief of it, personally, trading wise, yes, I would still look to buy it. It is in a massive uptrend. Long term wise, I don't trust it. I really don't trust it. I think the bubble could burst at any time. And it's been a few little minor tremors along the way, but it continues to raise those tremors and continue to create higher highs and new all-time highs. But I think the everything bubble is going to burst, and it could happen any moment. It really could. So therefore, if I had some sort of ETF, sorry, I had some sort of ETF, such as QQQ, when it comes to NASDAQ, I personally wouldn't be too comfortable. I'd be happy because it'd be in some good profit, but I'd probably lock in the majority of that and wait for it to eventually dump. But if you're asking trading wise, yes, it is. All you can do is trade what you see, and it is extremely bullish here. Let's quickly do the rundown on it. Let's look at the weekly, and once again, very strong bullish. And like I mentioned on Monday, no lower wick. We don't necessarily need it. I know many people have been saying it has not got one, has to pull back to create a lower wick, grab that liquidity, fill the gap, so on and so forth. It doesn't have to, and it doesn't look like it will do at the minute. Daily, obviously bullish daily. No real lower wick, so let's just mark in the low of it. Let's see if there is any sort of minor time frame catalyst to maybe look for a sell below it. 4 hour, extremely bullish. Yeah, that is the most recent resistance. We don't even have support. We don't even have resistance. All right, yeah, you want to be back below the Asian range lows basically before considering any sell here on NASDAQ. Could have a valid option to buy it in 10.5 minutes. I personally would trade this time of day, but bullish engulfing is as good a signal as you'll get. Otherwise, it's just a matter of waiting for it to pull back to levels that's formed on the move to the upside within the current day's candle. I'd be choosing these levels around 21,160 and 21,125, roughly 122, 120. Otherwise, daily low. So I'd be looking for only buy options personally if I was short-term trading it. Gold. I believe this is a pretty good, well, for the longer term perspective anyway. Portfolio perspective, I believe palladium is of really good value. Another one of the metals. It's been lagging behind gold, silver, and platinum. It's formed a really nice support, and it now is forming some structure in a higher time frame to the upside. I believe for the longer term hold, it's at some pretty desirable levels, to be honest. I'd be considering it. It's hard to obtain though. It's very hard to get your hands on it. I think my local dealer has some, but at a really high premium. not much is going to happen, to be honest, guys. That was the move. Zach, sounds good. Cheers for the stream, mate. I'm gonna head off. Cooked. Nice one, mate. You're obviously in Melbourne as well. Well, Australia. Maybe not Melbourne, but yeah, Dino sounds good to me as well, to be honest, mate. Just and Ray, hello to you. No name, hey bro, just cop that Forex test software and use it playing around. Nice one, mate. Yeah, it's a good kit, man. It's a really good kit. It's by far the best simulator on the market, most accurate. You can print every tick for tick data if you really want to. You can speed it up. You can skip candles. You can go to you can go to order executions. You can go to the order results, so on and so forth. It's really cool bit of a toolkit to level up, simulate your Forex trading. And it's got up to over 20 years of history, from predated history up until today. Obviously gives you the analytical tools are really key feature here. Tells you what it thinks you're doing right and what it thinks you could potentially improve on. You can even import your data from your broker to here and it will analyze it for you. So yeah, I think it's a really cool tool. If anyone is interested, and they now have given me access, for my guys, access to a monthly subscription, which is not actually on their website. So it's a little secret link if anyone is interested, because the monthly is obviously more affordable for the average person. If anyone is interested, let me know. I'll send you the link for that. YouTube, it's pinned to the top of the chat, but you must use the code that comes with it. Otherwise, they probably will deny. I don't think they'll allow for the monthly subscription if you don't use my code. Zach, you're in Queensland? Yeah, so you're same time as Melbourne now, I think, since we moved our clocks. No, I'm gonna have to spend the weekend figuring it out. I'm sure. All good, man. All good. It's pretty good fun, to be honest. I think you'll find there'll be, well, what you can do is just watch that video that I uploaded on TikTok and YouTube as well. That will help you out a fair bit. Not much is going to happen in a minute, guys. So what I'd probably be looking for, again, I'm going to go off and have dinner, so I'm not fast. This is the way I am. I don't let the charts dictate my life. But what I'd be looking for is price to retest the interruption candle. Seeing it's a delayed IC entry. So what I mean by that is the actual original IC entry, and the one that I know based off data, and the one I trust, is when it's tapped into on the, once it's valid. So once we've got the engulfing after the pause, it's when the next candle respects the high for the previous candle. Let's say a bit of an upper wick, doesn't break the high, taps in, and then bounces. That to me is extremely highly probable, and that's an entry I'm happy to take every single day of the week. Seeing we haven't got that present, what I'd probably be doing if I was to be on a chart is waiting to see how we react to that level. So maybe even going down to, as I mentioned before, the 1 minute, and let it form a little bit of structure from that point. And if it did so, that's when I start to trust the potential buy option. Otherwise, just simply let it pull back to the support, let it form again a signal within price action. Could be a 15-minute bullish engulfing candle, could be similar to what we had here, and that would be also a valid entry. Now, if we were to continue bullish, then be no need to necessarily break through this support. So what you could just do now is adjust this zone a little bit. And if price was to begin to close back below the most recent support, then I do believe that will lead to a retest of the Asian range high. And that could lead to a sell option off the back of that. So if you're wanting to trigger in some buy pressure prior to an entry, that could be a potential option. And so let me pull the screen down. I know TikTok won't be able to see. Look, if it does form some structure from the 4-hour resistance, but I would not trade it based off one single candle catalyst from this level. So for instance, a bearish engulfing candle, I'd let it form some structure, obviously create the high, create support, create either equal high, lower high, then at least close below that support, and that might give you a potential sell option from higher up. Again, that'd be based off the fact that the 4-hour structure is still technically bearish and is at a 4-hour level of resistance, which was previous support. Could be a potential area where price does reject it back down, where you could look for a sell to take a buy moving forward. That is probably how I'd look at it personally, guys. Apologies about today, just missed that move. Is what it is. If you had a good day, maybe chill, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever. And otherwise, guys, do trade safe. High impact news very late for me, or very early in the morning. FOMC, so big day ahead. Take care, guys. I will be on tomorrow, so look forward to that. Charlie, yes, I would be looking for longs if I was to remain on the charts. Yeah, so take care, guys. Trade safe, don't do anything stupid. I'll catch you guys same time tomorrow. My team, I'll let you guys know how I go for later. Maybe we'll jump on a call, see how we go. Appreciate you guys for joining.
See you later.
Take care, mate. See you guys.
Bye.
YouTube, TikTok. Until tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye, team. Cheers.